Welcome everybody to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. My name is Sam Leamy. I am here with Michael McLaughlin and Connor Walsh.
Yo. What up?
So why do you do that yo shit?
Me?
Yeah, what is that?
It's excitement. It's just pure unbridled joy because we're recording a podcast.
Yo. Like if someone said that to me when I was 16, I'd be like, what?
I never said that. I never said that in any other context. Any other context in the podcast? Do I?
Wait, I said yo, so maybe I said yo, and it got you to say more yos.
Yeah, well,
I have to one up you on the yos.
Yeah.
Now that I'm hanging out with this guy, Connor, for the last year and a bit, I've come to, say words that I never thought I'd say. I say lit a lot, which is kind of annoying. I do that a lot with my hand.
That's okay. Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, so it's what I'm doing now
that's
is
cowabunga. Yeah,
you got it, bro.
The cowabunga. That's the new. But yeah, lit and just. What's the most annoying thing you started saying, Mike, recently?
I don't say any of that shit. I'm past. I can't pick up any new shit. I live with my roommate is they're younger guys and they love trap music. Every time I'm in their fucking car, they play this trap shit and I have to pretend like I like it. It's horrible. I can't. Oh, it's brutal, dude. I can't. I'm past the age of like getting into new stuff, I think.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, you've been back and forth from the city. You're back in New York City. I know you made an appearance at the bar recently.
Stomping Grounds. My old, yeah.
How did that feel?
What, when you told me to come work for 2 hours?
Yeah. I needed help.
Oh, if you want to stay on this podcast, you got to get here and serve these beers. No, I made you Australian.
I sound like that.
I was sick, and Uncle Mike came through and took care of me and worked a few hours for me. I appreciate it,
I
buddy.
saw you. You were really excited. You hated the place when you left, and you're in love with the place when you came back.
Because if I had to actually be there and actually it was my real job, I had the clothes and all that. Oh, it's brutal, but it is fun. I tell you, it is fun to bartend for a little bit, especially seeing all the regulars that are in their same seats 3 years later.
God bless the regulars.
God bless them.
We're praying for you guys.
And it's just, I think it's. I was talking to somebody. One of the, what's his name? He brought up the podcast to me. Shoot, he was at the bar. Anyway, but I was telling him I think it's the best. I think it's the best bar in America. I love that place.
Really?
I think it's great. Yeah, really.
Bar. All right, we have to expose the names soon, or we should maybe receive some sponsorship.
So if you're the best bartender at the best bar in America, like myself, does that make me the best bartender in America?
No,
not
when you don't know how to make a martini.
You're right.
He does. We made a few martinis on.
You have vermouth? You don't have vermouth there, do you?
What am I talking about? I'm thinking margaritas. We don't have vermouth.
Yeah,
and we don't have Grey Goose, and we don't. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
We're a small club, small bar, small club, small podcast.
But anyway, this is a soccer podcast for you first-time listeners out there. But yeah, I mean, big week this week. A lot of the European leagues finished. Chelsea wrapping up the Premier League easily in the end, you would say, closing out the last few games pretty comfortably there. Tottenham on the back of two huge wins away to Leicester and away to Hull, 6-1 and 7-1 respectively. Harry Kane grabbing the golden boot there, taking over Lukaku. 29 league goals, I believe he finished with.
Yeah, 29. Lukaku was second with 25, and then coming in third was Alexis Sanchez with 24. So pretty impressive season from Kane, man. 29 it's a lot of goals. It's a lot of goals.
Yeah, I mean, touching base on the other leagues as well. Bayern Munich winning the Bundesliga back in October. Juventus clinches. Is that just the safest bet in football right now? Just banking on Bayern Munich winning the league?
Yeah, I would say so.
Dude, but RB Red Bull, whatever, New York RB Leipzig, they were winning the league for the first month maybe.
Yeah, and everyone wanted the Leicester story in the Bundesliga, but you knew Bayern Munich were strong enough because they were in second place. It wasn't like Chelsea were close behind Leicester last year. They were stumbling around. And
it is pretty bullshit. Unless Dortmund is killing it, no one's going to even challenge.
But Aubameyang finished top goal scorer in the Bundesliga, taking over Dembele in this past week.
No, Lewandowski.
Lewandowski, sorry. Yeah. Juventus clinching the Serie A title. And then yesterday, Real Madrid and Barcelona playing at the same time. 2 o'clock, beIN Sports decides to take the Barcelona game off the channel for some reason. I was at the bar, and
It was a good move.
What do you mean? How's that?
Well,
good?
if Real Madrid won the game, they were going to win the league. So we have to show that over
Well,
Barcelona.
they were playing it on Bien Español. The schedule showed Bien Español, Real Madrid at 2,
Yeah.
and then
And the regular being was Barcelona.
But they just took the Barcelona game off. They were like only streaming with 5 minutes up till kickoff.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, shout out to beIN Sports. Thanks for the take my $10 a month subscription. But I tried to stream it online, but you have to pay extra for the online streaming, being Connect, right? It's a totally different.
Is
package.
it?
Yeah.
I should have just bought that.
Yeah, we should talk about this because it is hard to figure out how to watch a soccer now. There's so many different apps that show. I don't even know how the rights work. Like, what is this Go in 90 or 90 Go? You heard about this app? And then
I've heard about Go 90. I've never looked into
you get
it.
you get every game for like $20 a
It's
month
on
or
your
something.
phone.
Really?
Yeah, it's
I've
on it.
seen
Well,
that.
I think. Yeah,
I think it's through Verizon. and it's
Verizon
exclusively
Fios or something?
soccer. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but I have seen the advertisements.
and then there's Fox Soccer. You can go to Fox to Go. You can go do that. And then I have my PlayStation cable, and I watch soccer on that. Then I got cable as well. There's too many options. I don't know. How do you figure all this out?
Well, yeah, you can watch games on like Facebook now, Twitter now, Instagram. Yeah.
Well, it's better than the past with
I'm watching
a lack of
U17
options.
games on YouTube. I don't know what it's like. No,
But I know in beIN Sports, like Fox are partial owners of beIN Sports, right? They have some shareholders in.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I believe you though.
Yeah.
You're an educated guy.
I miss the old days of Fox Soccer and Goal, and that was it.
Wow, dude, Goal still exists. They just show like the Peruvian first division now. That's like it.
Yeah.
They lost all their rights to everything.
Goal TV.
Yeah, because that was the move. That was before being like you had to have
Yep.
Goal if you wanted to watch anything other than the Premier League.
Yeah. Goal had all the Barcelona games and had all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bunch of evil people trying to gain rights in this soccer world. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, let's go back to the Premier League. Chelsea winning the league comfortably in the end. Champions of England once again. Biggest surprise yesterday was John Terry being substituted in the 26th minute, playing his last game for Chelsea Football Club. And I don't know if you saw this, Mike, but they were playing Sunderland at home. The score was 1-1 at the time.
Yeah.
Sunderland respectfully kicked the ball out of play in the 26th minute. The board went up. John Terry seemed like an age to get off the field. There was a guard of honor. Everyone was, standing ovation. All the, fans, coaches, substitutions.
So
crowd.
whack.
And they did the 26 minute because that's his jersey number.
Well, yeah, it's his jersey number.
So how can the FA allow that? Like, how much stoppage time was there at halftime? Like 5 minutes, 6. You know what I mean? Like, how
Yeah.
can the FA just allow the game to be changed? Just because I don't know. Because it feels like that should be fine. You should get fined for that.
Well, I'm gonna ask your opinion on this, Mike, first, and then I'll give you mine. But there was a few. What I read today, there was a lot of bets in England, and I know one customer got 100-1 odds on this.
At the bar, someone bet.
No, in England, in the betting
okay,
shops, because
okay.
you can bet on anything. So he got 100-1 odds a few weeks ago, put £25 on, and now the board went up in the 26th minute, but he didn't leave the field till like the 28th or 29th minute. So there was an online Twitter argument between the betting company and this customer to, get the correct moment when he was substituted.
Wait, what was there an over and what? I don't understand the 100-1. He tried to nail the exact minute and time that he would walk off the pitch.
He bet a few weeks ago that John Terry was going to get substituted in this 26th minute. There was rumors that was going to happen.
So is that
okay.
the 25th minute on, or is that 26th minute on?
Yes, it's the 25th
So
minute.
like 25:01
Correct,
is
it's
the
20
26th minute.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the board did go up between where the clock said between 25 and 26. But John Terry didn't actually get off the fucking field until the 28th or 29th minute. So at what point was, he'd... and I just think it's a football game, and it's a lot of Match of the Day pundits in England kind of embarrassed by this. This has never happened before. They say it's not Hollywood. This is a football game at the end of the day. I know it's the last game of the season. Conte was okay with it. He honoured it. The Football Association. Breaking news, by the way, David Moyes has resigned from Sunderland.
Something that he should have done in October. But here you go, David Moyes. Got a club relegated.
But where were we? Yeah, John Terry leaving the field. Conte was okay with it. The FA have kind of taken a step back from this.
Turned a blind eye.
Yeah, not making any comment on it. How do you feel about this, Mike?
Well, why can't they just do it before the game, like they do here in America? Like if they're, Mariano Rivera is his last game, they have like a day, or during his last year, they have have a presentation before the game,
or after the game even.
Yeah, they could do. Oh, they did Derek Jeter's. They did it in a doubleheader the other day, right?
Yeah, they did the Derek Jeter event during the doubleheader. I just think creating a spectacle on the field during the game is just extremely cheesy. And like I know Sunderland's been relegated. Chelsea's won the league. There's literally nothing to play for in that game.
Yeah, would they have done this if it mattered this game? If say City and Chelsea were tied, going or whatever,
John Terry probably wouldn't even play.
No, he wouldn't even play, right?
Yeah, and I think that I honestly think that the FA should be fining Chelsea for this, like this creating this on the field spectacle where the game is now being stopped for however many minutes. It should be funny.
It would have been funny if they were like telling the Sutherland players to throw the ball out of bounds. Instead, they just went and tackled Terry mad hard, just broke his leg, like hobbles off. I think it's fucking weird. That's a weird thing to do.
I know in baseball when Mariano Rivera, he was his last game for the Yankees, and then was it Posada and Derek Jeter came on and called him to call the bullpen. I mean, that's during the game.
They do this sometimes though too. In baseball, what they'll do if they're taking you out and it's a big game or something, you'll go out to the field to your shortstop position, and then maybe record one out, and then the sub will come out for you, and then the whole place will cheer.
But isn't that disrespectful to the stats of baseball?
No, because it doesn't. I mean, it slows down the game for maybe 90 seconds. Like it's not that bad because, if you know it's Jeter's last. Say it's Jeter. Or say it was who's somebody playing right now. It's all right. Say Pujols, right? Pujols is going to retire soon at some point. So say it's his last game in St. Louis, and he goes out for to the field, the top of the ninth. They get one out, and then they take Pujols off so he can have his little walk off and the whole moment. They do that in baseball. Yeah, no, they would do that. Yeah.
Well, you see it. You see even other sports.
But isn't that the same thing? That's pretty much the same thing. What if John Terry's shirt number was 89? Would you have a problem with it then?
That would be weird.
Exactly.
I mean, you'll see managers sub a player off that they go out and score 2 goals and they sub them off on purpose just so they'll get a standing ovation.
Yeah,
and that's cool. And the player might take his time walking off the field if they're playing well. But I don't like the whole. I really don't like the I like special moments in sports that are like make a unique moment. However, like that whole he wears 26, we're gonna kick the ball out of bounds, he's gonna walk off the. I don't know. I don't like it. And Chelsea were down 1-0 too. Mm-hmm. Would have been great if they lost that game. Probably John Terry's fault.
But say what you want about John Terry. He's been a great servant to the Premier League and Chelsea. He's been there for 19 years in the first team.
How do you feel about his English career as on the national team?
Well, I mean,
is he a legend or?
I mean, a lot of people do know about John Terry's career with England. Obviously banging other people, players' wives.
What if that dude was on Sutherland? What was that guy's name?
Wayne Bridge.
Wayne Bridge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got a mixed reputation, A lot of people love him. Chelsea fans obviously love him. He's had that racial incident 6-7 years ago with Rio Ferdinand's brother, Anton Ferdinand. I mean, whatever. I mean, he's a great footballer. No one can ever deny that. But as a person, not my favorite guy. So he can piss off a little bit.
I've always been kind of torn on Terry because he's obviously a scumbag. But it's like,
I mean, obviously, he's been clearly
he does look like a scumbag. He always did look like a scumbag.
But no, I don't know because he has such a respect. He's so well respected, but at the same time, he's just scum. And where do you he's got to be somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah, I haven't really concluded my whole opinion on John Terry.
Yeah, I want
to talk about football. I mean, he's a great footballer. He's one of the best centre backs of my generation. He's captain England. He hasn't done the best job for England, but he's never really put a foot wrong when he's put on that white shirt for England. And I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I'm not connected to him that strongly. But I can't doubt his ability as a footballer. So I'm just going to go on that, and he's been a great part of the game. So that's my opinion.
That's fair.
Well said, Sam.
He's a scumbag. That's my opinion. Move on.
All right, let's move on. So, Premier League season is done. So, I want to ask both you guys your biggest surprise of the season, your biggest disappointment of the season. You can kick this off, Michael McLaughlin.
My biggest surprise is that nobody put $100 million transfer in to pick up Pulisic from Dortmund. It's a shocker. My biggest disappointment.
No, I'm serious.
My big. I don't. You know.
Okay.
My biggest surprise is probably honestly, like the Conte, the defensive midfielder for Chelsea, just being just as good, just being such an important player on such a top level club, going from nobody to Leicester to now this. That was pretty amazing to me.
All right. Biggest disappointment of the season.
Oh, Bob Bradley.
Remember him?
We didn't play music for Bob Bradley. That was pretty disappointing.
How about you, Connor?
I would have to agree with Mike on the Bob Bradley thing being my biggest disappointment. I wanted that to work so badly, and it went so poorly. And Paul Clement has done such a good job since coming in that you really see that the situation just did not fit Bradley at all. But best of luck, Bob. But my biggest surprise this season, spent some time thinking about this, is honestly I think it's Man U not finishing in the top four. The money that was spent, the players that were brought in. I mean, at first Mkhitaryan wasn't even playing, and I thought that was the best pickup of the summer. And I just think with the money spent and the quality of players brought in, and the quality of manager that was brought in, I mean, I think we can all agree Mourinho's a top manager, maybe not a top person, but I just don't see how they couldn't have finished top four, especially with Mourinho's style of play, being defensive and grinding out games. Like, I think that United should have gotten some more results, a couple more wins where you go up 1-0 and play ugly and just wait it out. But they just, I'm really surprised that they weren't able to finish top four, because going into the season, I was like, it's a guarantee, top four. I don't know about the title, but the squad is just so good and so much money was spent, and I think that it's definitely got to be looked at as a disappointment. However,
I think they're going to be. You want to take a team? What do you think the odds will be on United to win the league next year? 10-1, 7-1.
See, I still think the debate right now is out on Mourinho if he's still got it as a manager. And we saw how badly it went at Chelsea, and then not finishing in the top four has he maybe lost a step as his style. Is it not as effective as it was in the past? I don't really know how to predict United.
I think they'll do better this next season. It'll be more of a Mourinho's team in terms of whoever they sign this summer. So I think they'll do a little bit better than this season, but I don't think they're nowhere near the best team in England. But I want to say my biggest surprise as well. I've got like two. I've got a player and a team. Gabriel Jesus from Manchester City, who, Brazilian wonder kid, didn't really hear anything about him in previous years. He's stepped into the Man City team. He kept Aguero out of the team for a few games there. He scored more goals than Marcus Rashford by playing 23 games less. Wow. He also got injured around February time. He was out for a few months, and he came back, just as strong as when he left. So he's definitely my biggest surprise as a player.
That's a pretty good one, man. That's a good one.
I think he's going to be great next season. It'll be interesting to see how the Aguero-Jesus combination will fit in.
Because confirmed this morning, I believe, Pep said that Aguero will be returning next season, so that ends that speculation.
Done. Another surprise, I think Bournemouth, again, out of nowhere. They've comfortably stayed in the Premier League now. This is the third season. And what a great job Eddie Howe's done at Bournemouth with the resources he's had. They were never really in the relegation scrap all season. It was really a core of 5-6 teams that stayed there all season. Sunderland, obviously, down at the bottom. But I think he's done a great job, the fan base, and solidifying that team in the Premier League and competing in the best league in Europe. And I think Eddie Howe deserves a lot of respect there with players and what he's done. My biggest disappointment.
Way to go, Eddie Howe.
My biggest disappointment as a Man United fan, the games at Old Trafford, boring. The draws at home to the lesser clubs, Hull City, Bournemouth at home, Eddie Howe. But I think the biggest disappointment has to be Paul Pogba this season. It has to be. Everyone was hoping Paul Pogba to come in the Premier League, take it by the scruff of the neck, do things that he did at Juventus. He left Juventus, and Juventus just got better, and Man United got worse. You know, I'm not pinpointing this on Paul Pogba. It's all his fault, but that's got to be the biggest disappointment with the transfer fee he left in, and it just everyone, you just kind of like, oh, I want him to do well, kind of, and now other fans, they hated Man United for succeeding. Now they're starting to feel sorry for Man United because they're failing.
I don't know about that, but do you think Mourinho wanted to sign Pogba, or that was a move that was just forced through by the board?
Forced.
So you don't think Pogba was a Mourinho player, but now he's stuck with him for probably a long time?
I think he's a Man United player. I know he needs a specific team, and he's still young. 23 now? He's going to be 24 soon. But now he has to mature and be a world-class player if he thinks he's a world-class player. But right now, he's nowhere near a world-class player.
Yeah. He sucks. No, he doesn't suck. He's average. He's an average midfielder.
What do you think, Mike?
What about Pogba? Yeah, he's cool.
But
I do. You know what I think about him? He looks like, you see the highlight. He's one of those guys you go on YouTube, you're like, wow, Pogba's so good. And then you watch in a game and you're watching 40 minutes in, and someone's like, oh, they're like, Pogba. I was like, oh, Pogba's playing? I didn't even know. He like goes absent. He's not involved in the
he
play.
He has moments of pure brilliance, like world class brilliance, but then that's it. And it looks great on YouTube, and it looks, you know what I mean?
At Juventus, didn't he play on the wing? Am I wrong?
No. He played.
Never played on the
midfield. He was more. He played a more of attacking role when he came into the United team when he was really young, but then he dropped back a little bit. I just want to say two more kind of surprises. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, we've all forgotten about him in recent weeks because of his injury. I thought he was going to score.
I think you owe me money on this, man.
10 or less goals at the start of the season. Yeah, I think I do. He definitely surprised me. Liverpool also surprised me, finishing in that top four. Jurgen Klopp, with the team he had and the way they played all season, I got to say, you know, well done to Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool finishing that top four, and that takes us on to Arsenal. First time in 21 years they have not qualified for the Champions League. We'll round up this Premier League review with Arsenal being crap.
Yeah. It was a weird thing to experience yesterday. It really was, man, because I knew they weren't going to finish top four. I was talking about, we had a family party yesterday, and my grandpa and me were talking at the beginning of the season, and he said that Arsenal weren't going to finish in the top four, and I was kind of with them, but then like to see it actually happen, like, so I'm 23, they've been in the Champions League the last 21 years, so basically my entire life, I grew up watching Arsenal, like it was just a given they were in the Champions League, and now it's just like I don't know what is gonna. It's just a crazy thing. I don't know what direction the club is going in, and I was excited to see that Alistair Usmanov, one of the minority shareholders who has been for a few years now expressed his interest in owning the club outright, offered $1.2 billion to Stan Kroenke for the club, and Kroenke turned it down, saying that he wants to win with the club and is as ambitious as ever, and it's just such a disaster. But I mean, it was just weird.
Yeah, but for 21 years in a row, that's a success to always make the Champions League.
It is a
United
success.
Was this the first year United hadn't made it since like '97 or something, like 20 years?
No,
they haven't made it in a few years. Well, they made it last year.
They made it last year.
2 years before that.
The Moyes season and the first Van Gaal season, they didn't make it.
Wow. Yeah, so you made 21 years in a row, and sometimes I feel like a kick down is always helpful for a team that's had that much success. It's like when a college basketball team is like 28-0, 29-0. You kind of want them to lose going into the tournament, so they have they know, so it kind of sparks them that they know that they don't get too high. And maybe the board is that they feel like they're invincible or Wanger too.
For me, that's the only positive I can take out of it, is that I'm hoping that this is a wake up call to players, the manager, the board, that success isn't just given to you. You have to work hard, and I think the club massively underperformed. I mean, they spent over £100 million and they got worse. They finished second last year. Now they're finishing fifth. So I think the club has to take a good hard look at itself. And if we recorded last night, I literally had a whole rant prepared, but now I've kind of cooled down, so that's why I'm being more. I literally was like going over my rant in my head before, but
they do have something to play for, which is the FA Cup next week against Chelsea. How do you feel about that one?
I feel good, man. I really want to win the FA Cup and at least have somewhat of a positive note. I heard Wenger will be announcing his future on Wednesday.
Okay.
But by all reports, he'll be.
And you lost Sanchez, right? He's going to Bayern, isn't that?
Well, Vidal said today that he wants Sanchez to come to Bayern.
All right, actually, we're going to have to take a quick little break. Real quick, my roommate came in, but hold on to that thought. Arsenal suck. See you in a bit.
Oi, 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 oi.
All right, welcome back to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. Sorry about that, listeners. I know you don't think we had a break, but we're gonna whack something up.
We'll whack it up.
We're gonna whack something up after my roommate forgot his passport. He's off to France. Came home from work. Idiot.
Just whack it up.
Just whack that clip up. Hey, Mike, why are you laughing? Okay, off air just a minute ago. Everyone's making fun of me. Yeah,
no, because they have no idea what you're talking about. Sam
well,
loves
you're
to
laughing. They have no idea why you guys are laughing.
Because every time we screw up on the podcast, you're like, don't worry about it. I'll whack it up. I'll figure it out. Like,
we'll just whack it up later.
Who's always whacking it up?
I know you'll be whacking.
He's literally on the phone with his mom on speaker. Mom, I gotta go. I'm on a podcast. Gotta whack it up.
I know you're probably going to whack it up later. But, Vidal said something about Arsenal.
Vidal said that Arsenal isn't big enough for Alexis Sanchez, and he has to move on to bigger and better things, and he probably does.
I think at this time...
Wait, the tennis player was talking about Sanchez? Hey-o. No, who's Vidal?
No, Vidal. Alexis...
Is he from... Who's that? Is that an Asian or something? Am I dumb?
Yeah,
Arturo Vidal, the Chilean midfielder that plays for Bayern Munich.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's mad good. He's the guy. I know. He is mad good. I know exactly what you're talking about. He's crazy.
He has tattoos on his neck.
Yeah, he's kind of scary looking.
Why does every Chilean soccer player have tattoos on his neck?
Vargas has the Jumpman, the Jordan Jumpman logo on his neck. Absolute turd.
So any Chilean listeners out there, can you please call in or tweet us at the Third Touch?
One time I went to Santiago, which is the capital of Chile, and their tattoo parlors have a lot of Michael Jordan.
Really?
Lines and stuff in there. Yeah, they like Michael Jordan a lot.
Dude, Vargas is playing for Tigres now. I learned that in FIFA this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I've never been to Chile, but anyway.
Well, let's whack it up.
Whack it up. Whack that out of there, Sam. I didn't like that part.
All right. Anyway, Arsenal season next week. They'll conclude it at Wembley Stadium.
Can't wait for it to be over.
Against Chelsea. So overall this season, your rating out of 10, how would you give this overall season in the Premier League, Connor?
4.
A 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Just excitement?
Excitement. Honestly, maybe my opinion is a little biased, but like just when Arsenal started performing badly and it was very evident that this was just an absolute disaster of a season, my overall interest, I was just so angry with Arsenal that my interest in the Premier League dropped dramatically, but there really wasn't that much, real excitement. Chelsea was by far the best team. They looked like the champions from early on in the season. Tottenham continued to be Tottenham. Like, there's no surprises there. Like,
they did better this year. It was the first time they finished above Arsenal
in 40-something years, St. Tottenham's Day. But I don't know, man. It's just like Leicester last year was just such a.
Do you think they were the foundation of ruining this season? Leicester winning that season?
No, because maybe a little bit, because now we're kind of like back to reality of big clubs doing big club things and little clubs being little clubs, but.
So now you know how it feels to be like a Southampton or Everton fan.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Arsenal sucks, dude. We're a small club now. I'm going to be chilling between 5th and 8th place for the rest of my lifetime, probably.
How about you, Mike? Excitement for the Premier League? Was the Bundesliga more exciting for you?
Yeah, I got to go. I've been watching just the Bundesliga all the time. But I would say I did like the league a lot until the last month. I thought it was really exciting. So I'll give it like a 7 out of 10. The last month got a little boring because Chelsea ran away with it, but up until that point, I thought it was pretty good. At some point, it felt like there was like a 4-team race around Christmas time, January.
Oh, it was great. I mean, I was still wicked into it at that point, and I feel like the first half of the season was great, and the second half was just predictable. And
well, Man City started off so strongly, but as soon as you started seeing Chelsea grinding out those not playing well, winning 1-0 games, then you're like, they're going to start winning.
I feel like Chelsea kind of like crept up on people. Like, because Man City was so like...
Yeah, what happened to City? Because I thought because De Bruyne was the best player in the whole league for the first, 4 months. I
think Guardiola didn't figure out that Christmas period. That's when they slumped a little bit. That's when they lost against Leicester City. That's when, they didn't win a game.
That Leicester game was a 4-2, right? Was kind of the turning point, the official turning point in Man City's season.
John Stones came in and Company was injured at that point. Company has obviously come back since and they've looked a lot stronger. But that amount of games around the Christmas period for Manchester City, I don't think Guardiola was used to that as a coach, being at Barcelona and Bayern Munich. So that was all new to him. And the FA Cup going to, playing
Huddersfield.
Huddersfield they went to on a rugby league pitch.
Yeah.
But that concludes the Premier League.
Well, you never gave your rating. What do you think?
I'll give it a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It was just the home games as a United fan at Old Trafford was just really draining and just trying to get excited for these games. And I think Man United pulled out a late winner once this season at home, and I'm just really used to that. And Mourinho said after that game, I can't even remember who it was against. It was like they scored 2 late goals. And it was like they got the Ferguson era back, the excitement back, the fans were going nuts. But, next game it was 1-1 against Swansea at home.
Yeah.
Great. But yeah, let's move on to the Under-20 World Cup. We touched base on it last week. It started up a couple of days ago. England in Group A, let's start off with that. 3-0 winners over Argentina. Very surprising. Argentina won.
Where is the Under-20 World Cup?
South Korea.
It's in South Korea.
South Korea.
And they're using the video referee, and this is I think the first official FIFA tournament where the referee is called for an elbow, and an Argentina player was sent off. I've seen the replay since. His elbow was up, and he caught the guy on the head, but in slow motion, it looks like an overreaction by the England player. The Argentina player did get sent off. They went down to 10 men. They're already down 2-0 at this point. But England running away, I think it was the first game in 17 games in this tournament that England have won. And coming into the tournament, they haven't been on good form
That's
either.
kind of surprising just because of how well the England youth teams usually perform. Because they were in the Under-17 Euro final last week. You know if England won that?
Do not. We did not. No, I don't know.
Well, I don't know, because in general, they perform so well at the youth level. We've talked about it before on the podcast, what happens between the youth level and the national team.
They'll get used to losing at some point.
Yeah.
But, under 21, they went unbeaten in qualifying for, I think, 10 years. And then they get to the tournament and play Norway and get hammered 2-0. But an early game today. USA were in action. This was the big one. Connor and I were back and forth. Are we going to wake up for this game? And I have my son in bed. And we have our soccer league tonight. There was a lot going on today. I had to go, run a bunch of errands this morning, do the podcast, obviously, at this time. But 4 a.m. this morning. Did you wake up for this, Mike, or did you DVR it?
I woke up and I watched it live. No, I DVR'd it. Come on. No, but it was... Did you guys watch the game? It was great.
I had my alarm set and woke up and turned it on and then turned it off and went back to sleep. It was honestly today's game for me personally. I've been fighting a fever all weekend. It just came.
Oh my god, the excuses!
No, dude, I know. But just this particular game. All right,
let me tell you what happened. I
just want to say I caught up on a lot of the highlights on YouTube. If you just go to YouTube and just type Under-20 World Cup, you can see all the games in like a 2 to 3 minute period. And I thought the quality has been really good. The crowds have been really good. See the South Korea game? It was like 50-odd thousand.
Yeah, I watched the South Korea game. It was
crazy.
Pretty
yeah, there's tons of Korean fans there with like American flags as well. All right, so let me tell you the breakdown of this game.
Right, so USA played Ecuador at 4 a.m.
They played Ecuador. Tab Ramos. Okay, Tab Ramos. By the way, Jurgen Klinsmann in the stands. Looks like he was like next to the bench.
Was he wearing a USA shirt?
No, he looked fit, dude. He looked 5 years younger. His biceps are kind of bulky. Yeah, he looked like he's a happier guy. I don't think he enjoyed coaching the men's team after a while.
He's coaching a bunch of squids.
But now his kid, his son, is the goalkeeper, right? So, but right off the bat, USA controlled all the possession, but Ecuador on the counter was so incredibly faster than the U.S. Dude, they just crushed the U.S. the back four and scored 2 quick goals, I think, in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, the Lino in the 5th minute and Cabezas in the 7th minute.
That guy Cabezas was awesome. I think he plays in Serie A for Atalanta.
Yeah, he plays for Atalanta, and he's already had an appearance as well this season.
Yeah, he was probably
20 years old.
He was probably the most impactful player on the whole pitch. But I will say this.
And if people are confused, there are 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds in this tournament because when you start the qualifying process, if you're 20 or younger, you can compete in the tournament. Carry on.
Okay, and then USA did make a comeback by Josh Sargent, the 17-year-old kid. Nicely, just slotted in there. Had a lucky first touch, and then scored a goal. He's only 17, and then on the second half,
he's ginger though.
Yeah, he is ginger, which is weird.
He doesn't have a soul.
He has a ginger fro, and he's good, this kid, dude. And then Brooks Lennon on the second half cuts it down. Brooks Lennon was probably the best midfielder we had, and he was cutting down the right side.
Yeah.
He sent a sick cross.
Yeah, I saw that cross in the final minute. Yeah.
Yeah, Sargent scored another goal right there, but then you would have loved this, Connor. Klinsmann, his son, they played a ball back to him. All he had to do was, hit it away, but he tried to take on a defender, and he tried to take on another defender, and then he kind of flipped the ball away, panicked, and it went to Cabeza, or however you say that kid's name, and he scored a goal, right? And it was all Klinsmann's fault, and so we're down 3-2.
Well, at least one Klinsmann is getting punished for his actions.
I felt bad for the kid too. And then the USA in the last extra time, last minute,
94th.
4 minutes into extra time. Yeah.
Luca Del Torre, the Fulham product.
Another great cross by Brooks Lennon as well, though, that caused mayhem in the area.
And this is what I want to talk about too. Is like, all right, I'm not the best at like breaking down all the games and everything like that, but that kid who scored the final goal,
Del Torre,
he was awesome too. My thing is this, and he's only 18. So Brooks Lennon's 19, right? He's 18, and Sargent is 17. I feel like the youngest of this U17 level is better than a lot of. I think this next generation might be on another level.
Yeah,
that Pulisic era.
So yeah, Lucas De La Torre, people who don't know him, 18 years old, plays for Fulham in the Championship. Has only made appearances in the League Cup, so he hasn't made a league appearance yet. So 3 appearances in the League Cup, but. He's at Fulham with another American centre back, but yeah, I thought Brooks Lennon's delivery with those 2 goals were out of this world. And I saw a lot of highlights yesterday, and I thought the standard was really good.
It's up and down. It's entertaining. It is really entertaining.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen like a full game yet. Just because of the times and the amount of time I have free. But,
there are some random countries in this tournament, to be honest. Like, Mexico played Vanuatu.
Yeah, I saw that game. It was 3-2, and I saw the goalkeeper for Vanuatu just make tons of errors. But yeah, let me round up some of the games. I'll just go through the scores real quick. So, Group A that we talked about, England against Argentina. England running out 3-0 winners. In the same group, South Korea, the host country, 3-0 winners against Guinea. How many? 37,500 at that stadium. First round of Group A. Group B, Venezuela surprised 2-0 winners over Germany.
And Herrera started, the New York City FC midfielder who's been benching Pirlo. He's been playing for Venezuela.
Dude, I forgot to say one more thing about the U20 game. Zalem got injured, and they brought on this other kid, and Zalem didn't. He plays so well, but the other kid was way more athletic and way more physical, and it took off from that point.
From what I've seen of Zalem, I feel like he's the type of player that can get lost in a game where he's out there and you don't. His impact can either be very impactful or he can be quiet and go missing.
Yeah,
and I think depending on the day, He needs to bulk up a little bit though, man. He's got to.
That's what it was. No, the other guy came in. He was more strong. He was way more strong on the ball, and then it just from that moment on, they were down 2-0. That moment on, they took off.
How did Tyler Adams play? The Red Bulls midfielder.
He played pretty well. I think they were a little shocked by just how athletic Ecuador was and just how physical they were. Because I feel like the USA they're probably used to being more athletic, but so he was a little. I think it took him a little. He played better in the second half.
Well, you said they possessed the ball a lot. They had 61% possession in the game as well, and it looked like Ecuador looked like they wanted to counterattack. But Group B, Mexico scoring in the last minute, 3-2 winners over Vanuatu. And Group C, Zambia beating Portugal 2-1. That was a surprise result, and Iran beating Costa Rica 1-0. In Group D, Japan beating South Africa 2-1. Italy losing to Uruguay. I saw this game. The free kick was unreal by
it was
Amaral.
crazy.
It was, left foot pinger. That
was a sick game. That was late, too, right? It was late. It was like the 76,
76 minute. That was if you want to check out that goal on YouTube, do that. France, the favourites, 3-0 comfortable winners over Honduras. Vietnam are in this tournament, 0-0 against New Zealand. Yeah, that was a good result. Great game. USA, like we just talked about, 3-3 against Ecuador. Entertaining game. Klinsmann fucking up in goal. I did see that, tripping over the ball. He looked dejected. But a great comeback, a good point, you would say. Probably the strongest team in that group. I know Senegal are ranked higher, but Senegal beating Saudi Arabia 2-0 in the other game there. United States up against Senegal next, actually. So playing the two hardest teams in that group first. So if they got a point there, it would be a good result.
And that's Thursday at 7 a.m. So a little bit more reasonable.
But yeah, that's the all the games. First round of games. Very exciting. Obviously, there's.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? Could a kid go from this kid Sargent, right? He was probably the most threatening player, for the USA to him and Lennon. He had a great U17. Now he's on the U20s. He'll be 18, I think, in January. Could a kid jump that quickly to actually be to the national team by this time next year?
Well, what is Josh Sargent doing right now? Because he doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So
yeah, Josh Sargent plays for a academy in St. Louis, and Sporting Kansas City are currently trying to claim his homegrown rights. For our listeners overseas or our listeners in America who might not be familiar, the MLS has some really weird discovery rights for players, and based off of geographical distance and where I don't even know how it works, to be honest, but you have the homegrown rights, and Sporting Kansas City are making the claim that they own his homegrown rights. So he might be making that move in the near future. And then he's also trained with Schalke once. And little fact about Schalke this weekend, Weston McKennie, who Schalke's manager did not let go to the tournament, made his first team debut for Schalke in the last game of the season, and apparently played very, very well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so Weston McKennie played this weekend, and Haji Wright and Nick Tadegay didn't, but they played, all three of them also played midweek for the under 19s team for Schalke. So all three of them played for Schalke this week, and were not called up. So I guess if McKinney's not going to be called up and is going to make his first team debut, I guess that is kind of important. Maybe not more important than the World Cup, but I don't know. It's kind of a tough thing.
Well, it is too, because the USA, these kids, they can't leave. They can't go to Europe until they're 18, right? Isn't that the law or something?
Is that a law?
I think so. I don't think they're allowed to actually sign with the European side until their 18th birthday.
Professional contract,
yeah. I believe that's
no, because Ben Lederman has been playing for Barcelona since he's been 10.
I think you have
professional contract.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
you can sign a professional contract when you're 10.
You can sign when you're 16. In England, you sign a professional contract.
Yeah, but you can only give
Rashford just signed his professional contract at 18.
Yeah, but the whole thing. No, you have to have a European passport to get all that. That's why Pulisic could have done it when he was 16, 15, and so it's harder. That's why Altidore and Adu never left until they're 18 or 19. And that's the thing holding a lot of these kids back, is that at 16 they kind of want to get over there, but they can't get over there without some type of special, thing and whatever. What's up, Sam?
Gotta make that money. Just American mindset. It's like, I only want to go there when I'm making real money. But you can develop. I mean, they're obviously, Schalke are obviously being very careful with these youngsters. They see a bright future for them, so they want to make sure they develop in the correct way.
I guess I'm not. I guess to Schalke's credit, it's nice that they're taking enough interest and care enough about these 3 young American players who would probably be going otherwise, and they actually care about their development enough to keep them at the club for the summer. And I guess I respect that because obviously they do care, so that's a good thing.
All right, that is the
riveting stuff, guys. Riveting stuff.
Under 20. I mean, we're all going to follow this, and we're going to follow this very closely here at the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. But
you know what is riveting?
MLS segment.
That's right.
MLS segment. All right, it's time. So,
Dun, 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 dun.
yes, one of our listeners actually called me this week and told me that we need a special theme song for me, which I would really appreciate, guys. We should work on that. Yeah, sick. So MLS week something. How many
12.
Week 12. Okay. There were some Wednesday night games. I'm not going to focus on them because they were on Wednesday night. But Philly, big win over Houston. Really big win because Houston was top of the West at that point. And Philly is now, after this weekend's win on a 4-game win streak. Chicago over Colorado 3-0.
Chicago on fire.
On fire, man. It's crazy. I see what you did there. Sporting Kansas City 3-0 over Seattle. Real Salt Lake 2-1 over New York City FC. And San Jose 1-1 draw with Orlando. The weekend's game started this Friday. Little Friday evening action. Red Bulls taking on Toronto. Bradley Wright Phillips overhead. It was kind of a sloppy bicycle kick, overhead kick, but I guess by
the guy's studs caught in the turf, and
it still was an overhead kick though. So shout out Bradley Wright Phillips.
Uncle Phil and the boys are in the bar, loving it.
Yeah, but Toronto 6-game win.
I think it counted. I was watching that live. It was kind of on the outside of his foot. It was kind of cool.
But it was kind of cool. Toronto 6-game winning streak comes to an end, and the tie ends the Red Bulls 3-game losing streak. So,
and Jose Altidore missing another penalty.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, two and two that he's missed.
Yeah, poor guy. Saturday,
Don Dwyer.
Portland losing to Montreal. Portland's kind of hit the skids. They haven't won in their last 4 games, but Piatti brace.
Portland went all MLS on me and shit. I thought we had a dominant squad at the beginning of the year.
I was watched the New York City FC game. I know you're going to get to that in a second, but Alexi Lalas was one of the commentators in that game, and he even said it was like really frustrating. He's like, it's just like I really want to like a team, and but he loves the league obviously, but it's so bizarre that what happens each week because you have no idea who's going to win or lose. Who expected. Anyway, let me.
No, you're good, buddy. I like listening to you.
Once you get to the New York City FC game that happened last night, I'll chirp in then.
Thanks, buddy.
I just see your excitement. You like move around for this.
I'm excited, bro. I like talking about the MLS. But yeah, Valeri got a consolation goal for Portland. Like I said, they haven't won in their last 4 games. Chicago beat DC this weekend. David Accam goal. Another good goal for the young winger.
But didn't Schweinsteiger have an amazing assist there? It was like the assist of the season.
Did he?
I haven't seen it yet. I just read the headline.
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
But it's a big road win for Chicago, and they're currently up to 2nd in the East. Shout out to them, man. They've come a long way in the last month. Seattle 1-0 over Real Salt Lake. Pretty big battle at the bottom of the Western table. Harry Shipp on the score sheet. Seattle currently 3 points off the playoff picture, so they didn't start off as badly this season as last year, but they're still in the bottom half of the Western Conference. Atlanta, big win over Houston to add more misery to Houston's week. 4-1. Miguel Almiron, hat-trick, the DP player, and Eric Cubo Torres gets one back for Houston. But it's a big win for Atlanta, who quietly have slipped. What's the word? Slipped. They've slipped, haven't they? They've slipped to the bottom half of the Eastern Conference, and they definitely need Joseph Martinez back.
Well, yeah, this is one thing I want to say about Atlanta. They started off strong. They had a few good wins. They're currently ninth in. This is going to really piss you off, Mike. They're currently ninth in the Eastern Conference with a +8 goal difference. So that's ninth out of 11 teams. Now, Orlando, who are fourth, have a -3 goal difference.
There's no other league like it, man. Like, it's such a unique league. The parity is just ridiculous at times.
Yeah. But where are we? San Jose. Yeah, they're on fire right now.
Stupid.
Major League stupid.
San Jose up to fourth in the Western Conference with even goal difference.
What are you doing, dude?
Right,
what are you doing, bro?
Vancouver.
What do you skipped 2
We
games?
need music,
Literally,
Connor,
what
in
are
the
you doing?
background for this. So I'm gonna produce it. I'm gonna get some music.
Vancouver 2-0 over Sporting Kansas City. Sporting Kansas City is currently top of the West, so kind of an upset. Philly 4th straight win, and that's a club record. Shout out to them, man. 2-1 over Colorado.
From going 14 games without a win
to now 4 in a row. And dude, the league sucks, man. It's the worst league. FC Dallas 1-0. 1-0 loss to San Jose. First loss of the season for Dallas. However, they haven't necessarily had the best results. A lot of draws in there, but it is the first loss for probably the favorites in the West.
Well, you say Phillies, it was a club record 4th straight win. I mean, most games there's going to be a record in some term, you know what I mean? Because they're a pretty new club. They're only like 6-7 years old.
Montreal had some dude, it was his 10,000th minute, and that was like a milestone in the MLS.
This is like the first 1-0 win in a temperature below 50 degrees in Montreal. Record.
Well, you know, Americans, they love their stats, and the MLS is just, there's just so much crap to...
I'm convinced American interest in soccer the last 10 years has started all the sabermetrics now in soccer.
Yeah, literally. Americans are behind, like, analytics and stuff. New England, big win over Columbus. Fagundes, the young Uruguayan, 2-1. He had a brace.
Question. I did see the highlights of this game. Did Gillette Stadium turn to grass? Do they do that in the
They have upgraded to the highest quality AstroTurf field. It's like, that's what they said. It's the highest quality turf field on the market.
Because it looked like grass.
It looks better, doesn't it?
Yeah, the American football lines weren't there.
And how did the people, the fans in the stands look? I know, sparse.
5,000 fans in a 80,000 person stadium. Shout out to the Kraft family. Minnesota 1-0 loss. LA Galaxy. Did you guys see Giovanni Dos Santos' goal?
I did.
Really nice little touch, flick, chip thing. I don't even know what it was. It was a really nice finish, though. Christian Ramirez gets a goal for Minnesota and then scores an 84th minute own goal. Mike's excited about that.
No, I'm excited about Christian Ramirez scoring a goal. That's all.
That's your boy. And then to wrap up the weekend, the nightcap last night on the Fox Sports 1, big win for the lads, the Blues. New York City FC 3-0 in Orlando. No fan violence reported, no police officers sent to the hospital, which is a good thing.
So yeah, Connor and I did go to this reverse fixture first game of the season with Orlando winning 1-0. But yeah, NYCFC coming off a long road trip, a long week, away to Real Salt Lake.
A game that they should have... Well, the thing is, Patrick Vieira rotated a lot of players. And Patrick Vieira also has the same Apple Watch as me. Shout out my guy. Mike's not impressed.
Yo, does your wrist get warm? It's got to get warm, right?
It gets warm with Apple love and Apple care.
Yeah, you can have all these millennials
After
with
20 years, and they're gonna keep kind of be coming to me with that amputee
wrist cancer.
Bro, I'll get my hand chopped off for Apple, bro. I'll do anything for Apple. David Villa, though, masterclass last night. Had a hand in all 3 goals. His free kick was pretty exceptional.
He's got a penalty as well.
Yep.
Kaká handball. Kaká limping off as well with another injury.
2 games against New York City FC this season at home. Sent home, and that was Orlando's first loss. Was that Orlando's first loss at home this season?
Yes, they won 5 out of 6. They drew one. I think it was against Sporting Kansas.
It was the last week. I think it was last week.
So Orlando are kind of in a rut right now.
Small club. And then Kyle Larin missed his first ever.
I saw that. That was a brutal penalty.
And I was surprised to hear that was the first penalty he's ever taken in MLS in his, 3 years now? 3 years in the MLS? Because Kaká's taken every other one.
And he was
took it so quick, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad. He was going for the top corner. I don't know where he was going. It hit the post. It wasn't like a
No, but I'm saying it was the
disastrous-
way he took it. It was like jarring a little bit because it was like as the ref blew the whistle, he just already sprinted at it like a quick penalty. So it looked shitty.
And then
the stadium looked great. Again, the stadium
Yeah, it's a great
was
stadium.
alive, and it was great. But yeah, I'm sure the third rail in NYC. And I want to say I took my son down to the NYCFC Atlanta game a couple of weeks ago. My son's favorite player is Jack Harrison. My son is called Jack, and he knows who he is now. And yesterday he learned that he was from England, so he got even more excited. My son actually watched and sat down and watched the game, and he was like really into it, actually. But then I told him where Orlando was, and it's close to Disney, and he got a little bit upset. But anyway, that is the MLS roundup with Connor Walsh.
thanks for.
Yeah,
Probably
and I
the
just
best
realized,
MLS
Connor,
roundup. Go on.
I realized when you were saying that I think it's just the setup of the playoffs, right? You can't, since almost every team makes the playoffs, like why would you want to have a dominant team? You know, that's probably not as beneficial, right? Because if you make the playoffs, then you can win the league.
Oh yeah, we just have a question coming
Twitter
in.
question.
No, I just asked a fucking question. You
All right,
two
well-
dipshits.
Twitter's more important than you, Mike. You don't even listen
I
to
know.
our podcast. We got fans listening to our podcast.
Fuck you. Just listen to my
What was the
question.
question?
I said,
Yes.
isn't it? All right, I'll pose it as a question.
Mike,
whatever.
I heard your question. I heard it. I'll answer
Yeah.
it too. I
What?
think in terms of American sports leagues with playoff structures, especially NBA or MLB, where there's so many games played, and you look at the NBA right now. Cleveland finished second in the East, pretty much on purpose. They didn't care, and absolutely blowing Boston out of the water. I know Boston had a big comeback win last night, but regardless, the one thing the MLS regular season is there's so much parity that I think it makes the regular season more interesting and not as predictable, and you don't really know who the best team is come playoffs all the time. Like it's very rare the team that's on top of the.
That's what I'm saying. Let's cut these playoffs down now. We're gonna have another, and they're expanding again, right? We're gonna have another couple teams coming in. It's gonna be 24 teams. We don't need 12. We just go 4 and 4 on each side.
I mean,
cut the playoffs.
I know why it is. One of the reasons is the squad depth. You know, the quality of players in the league isn't quite there yet, and whoever has their DP players, fully fit come playoff time, are those ones likely to succeed. Although Seattle were without Dempsey last season, so that kind of just contradicts everything I just said. But generally, that's pretty much how it goes. You know, Jordan Morris was, not a DP player, but he was coming into form, and he pretty much took over that whole, what Dempsey does, and scored goals, assisted goals, and he was close to that Clint Dempsey level, not up there, but he really stood up in the playoffs as a rookie. But I think it's down to squad depth and how coaches.
Well, that's what I'm
now
saying.
manage
Like you have
it.
a squad depth. Why would you? Once you're third, once you pretty much know you're going to make the playoffs or be in the hunt, and why don't you rest one of your players that maybe have a little knacking injury rather than play them? You can throw more games away, kind of.
Yeah, I know. Like
playoffs.
this is true, and like Patrick Vieira was criticized this past week for over rotating the squad against Real Salt Lake.
Yeah.
You have New York City, who's one of the best teams in the East, if not the best team in the East, going to losing at second from the bottom, Real Salt Lake. So, I think that managers have to figure it out. Just figure it out.
Yeah.
No, one thing,
out,
Man
Lee.
United, we didn't talk about Man United Ajax in the Europa League final this Wednesday. Big game for United
All the marbles.
fans.
You'll
We
be-
do have the FA... Huh?
Never mind.
Yeah, we do have the FA Cup this coming Saturday, but the Under-20 World Cup is going on. Everyone's excited for that. We're trying to generate excitement, but that's going on right now, and then Week 13 in the MLS. But lastly, we do have a Twitter question come through whilst we're recording.
Drew Dugan has tweeted us at
Squid.
Drew Dugan, Squid, and he said, "What are Arsenal fans gonna do now that their Wednesday and Tuesday nights are free next year?" And I'll tell you what I will be doing. I will be enjoying the Champions League as a neutral, and then tuning in Thursdays when Arsenal are playing in Romania. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
All right, that answers your question. Thank you at Drew_Dugan. Cheers, mate.
I just favorited his tweet. Thanks, Drew.
But yeah, that wraps it up for all of us here at the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. We appreciate you downloading, tweeting, and following us. Keep enjoying that soccer. Although the European leagues are finished, there still are some cup competitions to be taken care of. Champions League as well in the next couple of weeks.
USA Mexico.
USA Mexico qualifiers coming up, and the Gold Cup. So a lot to look forward to this summer. But you'll hear from us later.
Yeah, 7 a.m. Thursday, Fox Sports 1, USA versus Senegal. Tune in. Thanks, Chins.
Thanks.
All right, bye guys.